You are listening to Waywut? This is a weekly rabbit hole podcast that goes into a variety of topics ranging from the supernatural to sports to science or anything else that we find interesting. We post episodes every Tuesday. We post on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Please follow us on any of those. If you prefer video, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to talk to us or keep up with any random information we decide to talk about, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it's called, under @Waywut Podcast. That does it for all the self-promotion stuff. Thank you for listening, and here we go. Hello, and welcome to the newest episode, or well, at least the newest episode you're listening to, unless you're listening to a rerun.
Episode.
We're listening to an episode of Waywut, and we appreciate you being here. You're so sweet. My name's Darrell Holiday, and I'm taking the reins today, and I'm here with the man responsible for the 1998 Taco Bell natural gas disaster that resulted in 14 gallons of vomit. Jason.
You can't prove anything.
I'll testify in court. I don't care.
That's a lot
I'm
of
not
vomit.
going down for you.
That's a lot of vomit.
Taco Bell, for some reason, it goes in one size and it comes out like it's way more volume than it went in with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've been mentioned about 6 or 7 times on the show so far.
Yeah, maybe they'll sponsor us, but then again, we just associated them with vomit, so never mind.
And diarrhea.
Yeah, oops.
Kind of goes hand in hand.
Speaking of getting diarrhea at Taco Bell, I have an average guy rant today. Because that's what happens to the average guy.
All
right. We, as the time of recording this, for people in the distant future, are currently in an election year.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we are. And I know every election year, everyone talks about swaying middle America.
Changing red to red, or changing red to blue, blue to red.
Yeah. But I am fairly sure that everyone pretty much knows that that's a lie. I don't know how many middle people there really are out there. I mean, if there were really that many, then they wouldn't constantly be talking about the same divisive stuff over and over and over. Politicians know and use topics that people get fired up about, and those people then throw all reason right out the window. They're like,
yeah,
I'm voting for so-and-so because he's against abortion. And then you're like, but didn't they find out he kidnapped a busload of kids and turned them into slaves? Yeah, but he's against abortion. I'm voting for other so-and-so because he wants to make AR-15s illegal. Isn't he the guy that made skin suits out of that other busload of kids? Oh, yeah, but he wants strong gun control. I mean, it gets very annoying just how people will hang everything on to like one thing like that. So here, I'm going to publicly and proudly declare that I don't vote.
Oh. And you told me this before, and I was actually surprised by that.
No, I am not about this whole picking the lesser of two evils thing. I'm not going to do it. There's not a single political party out there that supports my ideals, and I just refuse to support either one of them. I'm not going to do any half measure thing. Be like, well, I like that he likes this, but then the other guy likes this other thing that I like, and I mean, I'm just not going to do it.
I haven't voted into the last few elections, only because I never thought I had enough of a political opinion to make a wise vote, or at least one enough to I know the difference between the candidates.
Well, I mean, I think some of the problem is not everybody really thinks of things as their opinion. I mean, I'm not passionate about any issues, and so I don't get caught up in any kind of zealotry, and I intentionally use that word, zealotry, because the really super political people are just as crazy passionate about stuff as a religious zealot.
Yes.
And I mean this on both sides.
I would agree with that.
And see, I mean, like you are the kind of one of the closer to like a middle person that they probably talk about. Somebody that's like, well, I have an opinion, not like I have a strong thing. But when it, whenever it comes to those people that are just like, oh my God, yeah, if you're Democrat, you're evil. If you're a Republican, you're evil. It's like, so every person that doesn't agree with them is either just stupid or evil.
Yeah.
And every freaking election,
Smear campaign.
one side, not one side, but there people from both sides are like, if so and so wins, it's the end of the world, or I'm leaving the country. Or whenever their side's going to commit, oh yes, this is going to change the world. This is going to make everything better. And none of that's true because everything has pretty much been the same the entire time. I've got a secret to tell you.
I'm all ears.
Politicians want the status quo. They want to continue to be in power and rich while everything just kind of runs smooth and just coasts along. That's what they
Everything's on
want.
cruise control.
They
Yep.
want, yeah. They as long as things are going the same way, they're going to continue having power and they're going to continue being rich. And with each of these elections, the world has yet to end or turn into a utopia. And we've had presidents from both parties over and over and over and over. And none of them have changed squat, either for the better or for the worse. They all just want you pacified. I am a true dyed-of-the-wool absolute centrist. I hate both political parties equally. Just absolutely, just hate them both. And this message is proudly funded by Darrell Holiday. I support this message.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of those messages coming up.
Uh-huh.
A lot of smear campaigns.
I'm not looking forward to Facebook. I hate.
A lot of phone calls.
Well, I mean, the phone calls I can just not answer, but I hate any time I go through my Facebook feed and it's like my family and my friends, and they're just like, I hate these people are stupid. These people are stupid. These people are evil. These people are terrible. These people are racist. These people are,
Yep.
Devil worshippers or whatever. And it's like, it's dude,
So they
nothing's
get
going to
elected.
change.
Until they get elected and you don't hear from them again.
All this talk about politics. So speaking of toxic gas that ruins people's lives, today we're going to talk about killer clouds.
Killer clowns. All right.
No, clouds.
Oh, clouds.
Killer
I
clouds.
thought you said clowns. I'm like, oh, you're going to dive into your phobia.
No, we're going to do killer clouds.
Okay.
All right. We're going to begin this journey in the year 1930 in Angus, Belgium.
Belgium.
Angus, Belgium. And it is a town on the, I don't know how to say all these Belgian words, which it kills me because like I know either the VPN, either somebody has their VPN going through Belgium or we have like somebody in Belgium that listens to us. So whoever you are, I'm sorry if I say these things wrong. So Angus is on, it's a town on the Meuse River. I don't speak French or Dutch, so I'm kind of screwed here.
Give it a good whirl.
Yeah, no. Angus is in between two different cities, a city called Huey and a city referred to as Liège. Pretty sure it's Liège. Now, between these three cities, there are 27 factories.
Damn.
Can you see where this is going? So, this is not anything about a disastrous explosion. It's, it wasn't anything like that. It's not like a little Chernobyl or the, great, molasses flood in Boston or anything like that. These are just factories operating the way that they always did, just like normal. And they produce zinc, fertilizer, steel, glass, and explosives.
Man.
But this year in Belgium, they had an especially rough cold snap that was coupled with low winds. This is what's referred to as a cold air inversion. And the cold air inversions was when the cold temperatures get trapped underneath warmer air that's higher in the atmosphere. Because
Okay.
usually as you go higher, things get
Gets
cooler.
colder.
But this is upside down. And so what happens is all this warm air traps all that cold air underneath it. And not just the cold air, but everything that is in that air
All the
gets stuck in
snow.
there like a big bowl or bubble. So all of this cooled the water vapor in the air. And this created a big fog that was inside of all that cold air inversion. And all the while, those 27 factories were pumping out all their emissions,
Hotboxing it.
and it was getting trapped in the air, and there was little wind. So it was all just kind of sitting there. And the chemicals began bonding with the fog and spreading
Whoa.
with it.
Killer mist.
Yeah. This caused soot to rain down
Soot?
along the soot to rain down along the river, the river that's in the Meuse River, and Ingus was the central point in all of this. They're the ones trapped right in the middle of all of it between those two other towns. People in the affected area began experiencing chest pains, throat irritation, coughing fits, and asthma-like symptoms.
Duh.
The Belgian government, they tried to do something. They got 20,000 gas masks and hauled ass over there. Over the course of a week, 63 people died, with 56 of the deaths happening in Ingus itself.
Damn.
The youngest one to die was a 20-year-old lady that was walking home after a party, and she essentially died of an asthma attack. But I mean, it's one of those kind of funny things. It's like, man, we got this weird chemical fog that makes everything burn, and they want us to wear gas masks. Let's fucking party. Let's do it.
Nothing can hurt us.
Yeah. Eventually, as the temperatures rose, the fog lifted, and after the fog was gone, everybody was like, "Okay, so what the hell just happened?" You know, you just had a killer fog just over your entire town. The government was like, "Man, what a crazy fog." It was totally just a fog. But it was a weird one, just a fog though. Don't worry about it. The people on the other hand were like, what about all those places pumping all that shit in the air? Did that have anything to do with it?
Yeah, all
And
27 of them.
the government in those places and the business were like, no, 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 no. It couldn't be that. No.
Of course not.
No. So universities go out there and they begin testing the soil and doing autopsies. It was found that there was a lot of sulfur dioxide on the ground. Sulfur dioxide is what you get when you burn gas, oil, or coal. So, and when it mixed with water, which do you know what fog's made out of?
Water.
Exactly. So whenever that sulfur dioxide mixes with water, it bonds to it and creates sulfuric acid.
Oh, acid
So
rain almost,
all
or
those
acid fog.
people were breathing in sulfuric acid and having to walk around in it.
Damn.
Yeah. Of course, the same thing that happens nowadays happened back then. The powers that be were like, well, the population here has increased a lot and it was really cold. So everybody had fires at home. So, that was your sulfur dioxide that was
Yeah,
going up in the air.
just
All
as
you
much y'all's
burning
fault.
burning wood and coal and oil in your houses to stay warm. This was all you.
Yeah, it's everybody's fault.
It's y'all's fault. It's not these giant smokestacks. It's your tiny little chimneys. So in the end, the companies were never held liable. But from then on, Angus's air pollution was monitored really close. It doesn't mean that they did anything about it because Belgium as a whole just doesn't rate well on the air quality index. They're kind of at the bottom or towards the bottom. So it's
I
like,
would think so.
yeah, we're watching it. I mean, the dial's in red. What do you want me to do? Are we supposed to do something?
Nah,
It'll
turn on
be
the music.
yeah. Turn up the TV. I can't hear it no more. That stupid alarm. Okay, this was not the only killer cloud incident. It would be very boring if I only had one killer cloud. So now we are going to hop into 1948 in a town called Denora, Pennsylvania. Here we are in Pennsylvania
Good old
again.
Pennsylvania.
You remember Pennsylvania? They had the coal fire underground that will be burning for the next couple hundred years.
Oh,
But
and
now not only do
Centralia.
you have like the ground wanting to kill you, they also sometimes get air that wants to kill you too. So
You gotta come from both ends.
yeah, let's go to Pennsylvania, and not only that, they got all those people in Philadelphia that are insane that'll probably want to kill you too.
Yes.
Just I say this, I'm actually going to Pennsylvania in August, so if anybody there ever listens to this, I didn't mean that. I was just kidding. This is just a show for entertainment purposes. Don't hurt me. All right. So that October 1948, a fog started to building up, and people in Denora began coughing and having respiratory issues, which is not normal just because of fog. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I've never had that issue.
No, fog should help.
Yeah.
If anything, if it's clean.
Well, this smog or fog, whatever you want to call it, hung around for 4 days. And by the end of that 4 days, 20 people died. In the following month, after the fog lifted, another 50 people died of respiratory issues.
Jeez.
In this town, 6,000 of the 14,000 people that lived there reported being sick.
Holy crap.
While the
Change
fog
the air
was
filter.
settled in on everybody, the fire department was going to people's homes and letting them breathe oxygens from masks, and it
Just to get
completely
some
wiped
clean
out their
oxygen.
supply. Yeah, they were
Holy
they were
crap.
bringing people air because firefighters are friggin' awesome.
They didn't have canned air like they do in Spaceballs.
No, if it wasn't for the fire department and the fog going away, it said that the number of dead probably would have gone up astronomically. But
I would bet
fortunately,
the lack of oxygen tends to do that.
but enough about like people like going outside and dying because they breathe air. I'm gonna point fingers at people. So what caused this? U.S. Steel had a zinc mill and a steel and wire plant that emitted our friend that I mentioned earlier, sulfur dioxide, the one that touches water and becomes sulfuric acid. That sulfur
You
dioxide.
think they would know that?
Well, I'll get to that. This one also emitted hydrogen fluoride. Hydrogen fluoride is a highly corrosive contact poison that can cause blindness, irregular heartbeat, and pulmonary edema, which
And
is
get your teeth white.
what?
And get your teeth white.
No, not hydrogen fluoride. And pulmonary edema, for those of you who don't know, is fluid buildup in the lungs. Like sulfur dioxide, hydrogen fluoride also binds with water, and it makes hydrofluoric acid.
Wow.
Yeah,
Everything just makes acid.
hydrofluoric acid can impact the nervous system, delaying people from feeling the issues that come from exposure. So it jacks with your nerves. And so all the things that it's causing, you're not going to feel immediately. And those things that it can cause are burns, eye irritation, skin and nose irritation, throat irritation, bronchitis, and pulmonary edema. So not nice things.
Yeah, lots of breathing problems there.
Now, the reason, and I said I would get to this, the reason that, they know what these chemicals can do when they're bind with water. But most of the time, you got these big, big, tall smokestacks that go high up in the air, and it pushes it up high enough to where it'll go up, and everything it deals with is up high in the atmosphere until it
Yeah,
like
swept
binds
away.
with clouds and stuff. But unfortunately, like Ingus, they had a temperature inversion there, and it trapped all the gases in the lower portion of the atmosphere. This one was so bad, though, that when it mixed with the fog, it turned it yellow.
Oh, man.
So they had a yellow fog over this town for 4 days. It's like, I mean, it's one of those things you think nobody walked out for this one
Yeah.
for a party.
Somebody turn on a fan.
The plant, the plants that were there, the steel and wire one and the zinc mill, they didn't even bother shutting down until the fourth day.
Don't y'all dare call in sick.
At the fourth day, it began to rain and it dispersed the fog. That was enough to kind of, resolve the temperature inversion and get a lot of that crap
That'll
out of the
pass.
air. But it's one of those things that are like, man, all this yellow fog around. Should we shut things down? No, I'm pretty sure that ain't us.
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah. So they shut down on that fourth day, but then on the the day after the fog was gone, they went right back into production. They're like, all right, we're good.
Wash our hands of that.
Yeah. Well, what happened after? U.S. Steel got sued, and lawyers got rich. That's what happened.
Class action lawsuits. Hell yeah.
No, U.S. Steel settled the suit for $235,000 to be split between 80 different parties. 80.
Only 235,000.
Well, I mean, it's $235,000 in $1948. But
Still, that's not very much.
which would be like, but once you divide that among 80 people, and then don't forget, before that happens, the lawyers
60%?
get 30%. I thought.
All right, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But so all the individuals walked away with very little on this. Like I said, lawyers got rich. That's about it. U.S. Steel never accepted blame.
Why would they?
No, they called it an act of God because it was a weather phenomena. There's like, oh, it wasn't our fault that all the shit we pump in the air got trapped down here. That was God's doing. You bitches need to pray. Y'all ain't praying enough.
They're pointing a big old finger.
They also took the same strategy as Ingus and every business nowadays, like every single business nowadays. They said the smog is coming from cars, homes, steamboats, and trains. They're just as much to blame as this giant smokestack.
Good
It's
Lord.
all your fault. You need to fix your shit before you start getting mad at us. I mean, the thing is like I can't imagine cold air inversions only happen over factories. And like,
No.
if I imagine I've been in a cold air inversion and I've never died from an asthma attack because, cars. So whatever.
Right.
Now, this incident did trigger the Clean Air Movement, which helped bring about the Clean Air Act of 1963. That gave the EPA the clear to create and enforce regulations to protect the public from exposure to hazardous airborne contaminants, as long as somebody doesn't pay them to not do that. Somebody pays them enough money. The EPA is like, everything looks fine to me. No, we're good. They're like, EPA comes over and they're like, man, see you have a gas-powered car in your backyard. Sure would be a shame if, you weren't able to conduct business anymore.
That goes on all the time.
All right. Let's go back to Europe. You want to go to Europe? We're going to Europe.
Yes. Let's go to Europe.
London, England in 1952.
Hello, Ganta.
You sound like you're from London. I am from London. All right. London, England, 1952. Thanks to Mary Poppins and Charles Dickens, we all know how older London was a bit on the gross side.
Yep.
Plenty
Grimy.
of factories just pouring just crap up in the air just nonstop. And for those of you who've never seen Mary Poppins or read a Charles Dickens book, Industrial Revolution in Britain, they had a lot of factories and a lot of crap went in the air, and London was covered in soot for decades. So much like the other incidents, we get a cold spell with warm air on top, acting like a lid, locks everything in, like one of those Tupperware containers. Since it was colder, all the people fired up their coal stoves. It's these people again, it's all their fault.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Furthermore, at least 6 coal fire power plants were there. But I'm pretty sure they didn't have anything to do with it.
No, they probably weren't working those days.
Then to make things worse, neither the people nor the power plants had access to the cleaner versions of coal, like anthracite. Remember during the Centralia one, anthracite's that really good coal. Just a few years after World War II, Britain had like all these debts because, wars cost money. So they were selling all their anthracite and just leaving the low-grade sulfurous coal for domestic use for the people and for their power plants. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
Furthermore, with this being a very active and large city, you have buses, cars, and trains, and all of that, 6 power plants, buses, cars, trains, people burning nasty-ass coal at home, all that's getting trapped in there in this cold air inversion. With all the coal-burning sulfur dioxide bonded to the London fog, creating created a cloud of sulfuric acid. London, having a considerably larger population than the other 2 places we've talked about, had a considerably larger death toll. The initial count was 4,000 people, mainly very young or very old, and any people that had like existing respiratory issues. So, like the COVID candidates there, back in the day.
Yeah.
But as time went on, that number grew. Studies now say the number is actually 12,000 people that died due to this 4-day event. So 4 days of getting hotboxed with their nasty coal that they kept because they sold all the good shit, killed 12,000 people.
Well, over time, they just kept up with it.
What?
You said eventually it killed 12,000. So, like,
well, it wasn't
over the years,
no,
they got
just
sick.
There were studies done after the fact, because the initial count was 4,000. So you're talking like right after the 12,000. Remember, and a lot of those people don't die immediately. You're breathing all that shit in. You end up getting pneumonia or whatever, and you have other issues. So, yeah, 12,000 people dead. Yeah. Afterwards, the government made some clean air actions that would help people go to gas heaters instead of coal fires. I guess you can say it worked because the same damn thing happened 10 years later, but only 700 people died that time.
They learned their lesson.
Yeah, I mean, that's progress. That's total progress. You didn't let 12,000 people die. It was only 700, and that is progress.
Way to go.
Yeah, 10 years. I mean, I don't want to do percentages, but that's a bunch of percents difference. So
the higher ups should get a raise.
Yeah. Okay. I will admit now, I know this sounds weird considering the topic that I've had tonight, but I am not an environmental warrior. I'm stubborn, and I'd rather have big companies make changes before I make a change. Once all the companies get rid of their diesel engines pumping crap in the air and their cars pumping crap in the air and their factories pumping crap in the air, then I'll be willing to look at your electric or hybrid car. Until then, leave me the hell alone.
My AC's staying on 68. Thank you.
Bitch. Yeah, you ain't telling me nothing. But in the interest of making sure people don't say that we need to trade our cars for bicycles just yet, let's talk about when this happened, just because the Earth wanted to say, hey, humanity, fuck you. 1783. Are you done? Are you breathing? Are you in a cold air inversion?
There's a killer smog in my room.
Did you fart? I know
it's a sympathy choke.
Do I need to go back and tell everybody that I was talking about the Earth telling humanity to go fuck itself? All right. 1783. So we're going way back in time.
1783. I'm with you.
All right. There's a volcano called Laki in Iceland, and it blew its load. And apparently, it'd been a long time since it blew its load because it blew its load all over Britain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It sure did.
Just shot it all over. Where's your mind at? I'm talking about sulfur dioxide here because a cloud of sulfur dioxide.
Well, damn well, that's not what you're talking about.
Yeah, it made its way and got all over Britain. And rather than lasting a couple days, like the incidents we've been coming across, this stuff hung around for weeks, possibly even months. It was a big eruption, and it killed a third of Iceland's population.
Holy crap.
But, it was their volcano. You expect it to kill them. So, it's like, all right, yeah, it killed like okay. But the thing you wouldn't expect is the 23,000 British people that were caught completely off guard. Minding their own business. It's like, huh. Do you think that there's going to be a volcano that's going to explode like 1,000 miles away or so? It will be all right? No, what? And so you get this cloud of sulfur dioxide that came from Iceland that hung out over Britain, killed 23,000 people, and the only thing I'm pretty sure they were like is like, why did God do this to us? It's the witches' fault. Burn the witches. And all these Icelandic people are just like, oops, my bad. Sorry. Gunther, tell them you're sorry. Anyway. All right. So the moral of the story is, yeah, we are often the architects of our own demise. But if we didn't do it, nature will, and it just tends to do it a lot bigger than what we would do ourselves. So we're screwed either way. Get over it. I think that's going to do it for killer clouds.
That's really cool.
Yeah. If you ever hear the words temperature inversion, though, just go spend some time out in the country. Just, it's like you expect a temperature inversion, be like, oh, well, that's a great weekend to go camping.
Don't breathe in the clouds.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun one to research. I will say that. I read a lot on that one.
I've heard of acid rain and stuff. I never heard of acid fog. Yeah, I think it's kind of the similar thing.
You can breathe that crap in. That's what makes it a smidge worse.
Reminds me off of Blade 3 when they were talking about the garlic mist, where they would breathe it in.
Yeah, I can't believe you remember Blade 3. That movie's garbage.
I like Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel's
too,
hot.
But no.
And Jessica Biel's pretty hot.
Still no.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie.
It was okay.
Okay. Well, on that note, I guess, as long as Jason doesn't finally get jailed for a killer cloud incident in a men's room at a Golden Corral, he'll be taking charge next time to tell us about some stuff that will hopefully make us say, Waywut?
Well.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Waywut. We really appreciate it. Remember that we post episodes every Tuesday and would love for you to rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Pandora. If you are watching us on YouTube, throw us a comment, subscribe, and do all the other things that YouTube likes for you to do. You can stalk us on Facebook and X/Twitter with the handle Waywut Podcast. Once again, thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit, and join us next time when we'll get you to say, wait, what?